on the podcast. Oh my god, I know you're excited. Judd's moved his light and wants to know whether it's got better or worse. It's worse, definitely worse. Don't you like it that whenever we try and like make this podcast better in any way, we just end up making it worse?
You just need to stop fucking trying. Maybe just stop the podcast.
Stop the podcast! No, anyway,
Stop it.
In today's podcast, Judd did a driving test and he's going to tell us all about that. No spoilers yet. I've been playing a bit of Cyberpunk. Spoilers, it's still broken.
Why?
We're gonna be exploring a Reddit that I wanted to, or maybe a few Reddits that I thought you might be interested in, and we're gonna talk about some movies and TV shows that were a bit that we make us burp, and also we kind of feel a bit about whether they're going to be any good or not. So, okay. First things first, right? Let's get it out of the way, Judd. Yeah. When was your driving test? Give us a whole story. Give us a whole spiel.
It was last Thursday.
Okay, so nearly a week ago.
Yeah. So, what do you want to? Do you want to know the result off the bat, or do you want to hear
tell
what
the
happened?
Story however you think would be best to tell it. It's your time to speak for once. That doesn't happen very often here.
So, essentially,
it's not going to pass, has it? I can tell already.
I had 6 months of not driving. Because what I had this teacher and she was really shit. Like she probably didn't show up for just as many lessons as she taught me. She was that unreliable. Every week it was a different excuse, and I just got fucking sick of it. At just one point I was like, "Oh, are we having a lesson on such and such a day?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure that you didn't want to rebook them or something," and that wasn't true at all, but I was just like, right, fine, whatever, and I just left her, and I didn't go back to her because she was shit. Then what I did was I found one of those like companies that do intensive driving courses. I went with Mr. Driving School.
Famous Mr. Driving School. We've talked about him a lot on this podcast.
Famous Mr. Driving School, yeah. And maybe it's pronounced weird. Maybe it's actually like Driving Shoe. Maybe that's how you pronounce his name. But yeah, so I went with them, and I was like, and because it was like near Christmas when I was booking it, and I had to pay for all the Christmas stuff, like all the Christmas presents and everything. I wasn't getting paid again until January 4th over the Christmas season, and this was like December 18th, something like that. And and so I had to be careful with this money that I had to last me until then as well. So I paid for the cheapest driving intensive course, which was 5 hours, and
this
then
adding up to a particularly successful seeming story.
Yeah. And then and then my nana and granddad, as my like 23rd birthday present, gracefully added another 2 hours onto my intensive course as like my birthday present. That was all I got, and so I had another 2 hours.
Basically, Judd's learnt to drive in 6 hours.
No, 7 hours. So I tried to get like lessons from like like a free like like a normal instructor leading up to that, just so I can like get a few extra lessons in. That came up fruitless because literally pretty much all independent people are like booked up for a while, because now that COVID shit's like essentially stopping to a degree. Now everybody's wanting to get driving, so everybody's really busy.
Yeah.
So I think then we can time skip up until February the 9th, yeah, because that was the Wednesday. So that's when I started my intensive course, and he came and picked me up, Mr. Driving School, and he was fucking awesome. He was an incredibly good teacher. He showed me how to do like all of the maneuvers in one day. He like demonstrated a emergency stop for me. We didn't have a lot of time to cover everything, so he only had time to like demonstrate it for me. I didn't like have a go at doing it.
You didn't even he didn't even get you to do it.
I didn't.
Mate,
I didn't.
that takes about like 2 minutes. He could have just given you like that 2 minutes.
Well, listen, right. Let me finish. So, you know, we did all that. We did all that stuff, and then so this is now February 10th. This is test day.
What I want to know about this instructor before you get into the test, though, Judd, is how picky were they? Like, how strict were they? Because when I did my like driving instruction, I had a guy that lived near me. I got on well with him, and I think that was a problem. We got on too well, and we just like had a bit too much fun. I had a little break and went with another guy after, and he was like nice, and we didn't argue or anything, but he mildly annoyed me with how like picky he was about everything. I was by the end of the lesson, I was like, with this guy. But I think that's what helped me a lot. Like that's a good thing.
Yeah. So he was picky. But he was also very. This sort of annoyed me a bit more than the fact he was being picky. He was very sort of like, it's all right, I know you got a lot to do, and it was like very comforting, but like sometimes it'd be a bit too comforting. I just think to myself, all right, come on, I'm not a pussy. I get it. I know I've got a lot to learn. It's fine. You can be a bastard. It's all right. But yeah, no, he was picky, and he needed to be picky, so you know that I could try and pass, and so yeah, then I think I had 2 hours before my test, because we did 5 hours on the Wednesday, and so we did the 2 hours on the Thursday. Then we went and did the test, and I was so nervous that I went to the toilet to try and be sick, because you know when you get like,
oh my god,
that I was really nervous for this fucking test. So I tried to be sick. Nothing. I wasn't sick.
Was this in the test center?
This was in it. I ran to like the test center's toilets, and I was like, I'm just like gonna try and be sick.
What did Mr. Driving School think of that?
Well, I didn't. I just said to him, I didn't turn to him and go, "Excuse me, I'm going to go vomit." I was just like, I'm gonna go use the toilet really quick. I should have done it. Would have been funny. No, I was just
Excuse
like,
me, Mr. School. Yeah. I know we're waiting here, but I got something to do. I gotta go be like, puking.
You know when he goes to the doctors or something, do they like call him up as Mr. School Driving?
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah. In fact, would Mr. Driving School Mr. Driving School go to the doctors, or would he go to a mechanics?
Nice, dude. Nice. Give this guy a Netflix comedy special. That's all you need to do. They're going to cancel Jimmy Cars anyway. They need I'll
just have this.
No, yeah, so you had two options there. You could have did what you did, or mid-test, like right over the steering wheel. Just continue driving.
I should have thrown up like, on the instructor.
Just down yourself. And that's how you demonstrate that you're focused on the road. Because you puke with your eyes still open, still focused on the road.
Yeah. I don't even acknowledge I've vomited or anything. I stay completely silent. I think it would have passed me out of just pure fear, to be honest. But
I mean, that's not on the criteria they're marking for.
Yeah.
Imagine they've got just one like box right off to the side from everything else that says did I don't know, did they vomit? And it's just a checkbox of yes or no.
It says it's yes, no, or yes, but confidently. So the dude showed up. And he was, he just took me for my test, and I'm trying to think if there is one like sort of significant thing that happened during my test, but I'm trying to think if there was anything else. It was like, you know how you've got to do an in-car sort of like check, like a show. It's called like a show me question.
Show
and,
me, tell me. I think they're called.
Yeah. And the one he gave me was, how do you wash the front windscreen? And I was like, oh, that one's easy, it's this one. And I like pressed the thing that I thought it was, and nothing happened. And I like pressed it a few times, and because you know how it's like, you know how you've got your indicator on your left, and then you've got that other thing of like the same sort of shape on your right.
Yeah.
It's because I was like pushing it forward,
Yeah.
but actually, if you push it forward, that's
does
the
back,
that's the back one. So, but that was
Doesn't
the
make
only
sense,
thing.
really, does it?
Yeah, no, I know. You'd think I'm pushing it that way towards the front windscreen, so it should do that.
The thing
one.
is, Judd, what you didn't realise is you'd got the inverted controls setting on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where you were going wrong. Do you know what I found really annoying?
I should have gone to the instructor. I should have gone, this isn't fair, swap controllers with me, and like took my seatbelt off and started climbing over it.
You know, what I found annoying about those questions is, it's not the same on every car. So it's completely fucking pointless. Every car has things differently. Like, even including, like, your windscreen wipers. Every single car I've owned, which is only 3 at this point, to be fair. I mean, I'm nearly 25 and I own 3 cars, but it's all been different. And normally, it's something to do with, like, you've got your indicator stalk and another stalk. Normally, it's something to do with that. But it's different on each car, and it isn't always a stalk either. And also, especially with your like controls for your like demister and your heater and all of them, they're all really different. And also, how do you alter your side mirrors? I don't fucking know. I've never seen this car. You know, it can be like that. You know, if you've not driven that car before and you don't know, it's different on almost every single car. So that kind of element of it, I found really dumb. And it's like half of them made sense, like being able to identify which is your oil tank, your oil reservoir. You know, where do you fill up your oil from? Where do you fill up your engine coolant? Because that's different on almost every car as well, but it's really fucking important, and you should be able to tell it on every car, because there's like icons. Like, legally, there has to be like symbols on where you do it. So those make sense. But when it comes to like the windscreen wipers and like the demisters and all that, that shouldn't even be part of the test, because it's different on every car.
Yeah. But anyway, so that happened. I got it after like 2 or 3 presses at the front. I was like, oh no, it's weird. You have to like, it's back, even though So
do you think you got marked down for that or not?
I don't know. I don't know if I got marked down on that or that
don't fucking care,
or not. I don't know. I'm not really bothered. But then the only other significant thing to happen was, it's funny. I was saying to the guy, like, as I was learning, I said, I'm a little bit nervous with just roundabouts, if I'm being honest. And he was like, okay, we'll take you around a few roundabouts and to like get you sorted with that. And I'm still a bit iffy with them, but like I'm better than I was. And he took me to, and I'll try and explain where this is for you, Jake, so you'll know. Like, just on the outside of like Barnsley town, you know how there's like a Brewers Fair, and then it's like on your sort of it's like next to the motorway. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You don't mean a Brewers Fair, you mean Toby Carvery.
Is it a Toby? I always like get it mixed up, but so
there's a Carvery. There's a Carvery. We've talked about Carveries a lot on this podcast too. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's a motorway junction. It's just a big roundabout motorway junction.
So it starts off with that big sort of roundabout, and then he took me to I don't know where it's going to, but he essentially took me where there's 3 more roundabouts immediately after this one big roundabout.
Yeah, there's like a shit ton of roundabouts around there.
Yeah,
but there is in our country, to be fair, so it's a pretty good test. Because like, obviously, for some reason, the UK really fucking obsessed with roundabouts. If you like need a junction, slap a roundabout on it. Who fucking cares? Honestly, I don't know what it is about that, but
yeah. So anyway, I fucking went round these roundabouts and I aced every single one of them, right up until the last one. And what happened with the last one is that I pulled up, I looked. It was fine.
Which
Everything
direction
was
did you
fine.
look? Because I've pulled up to a roundabout with you in the car before, and you've said, you're turning right. And I'm like, yeah. And I was indicating right. And you're like, what? You're turning right? And I'm like, yeah, I am.
Yeah, I know. I get how that works now. That was literally one of the things I asked him. I took him to that specific roundabout where I pointed it where I like tears in my eyes. I went, that one.
You didn't understand that you can turn right on a roundabout.
No, it wasn't that. It was that for some reason I thought that like as you were going round the roundabout, you had to be signalling left, which doesn't make any fucking sense. But obviously, what you do is if you're like coming off on the first junction, or like I don't know about this. I don't think the second junction, but if you're coming off on the first junction, like immediately signal left.
If it's a perfect, I tell it means I passed my test, Judd. You fucking retard. If it's
okay.
No spoilers. If it's a perfect roundabout, perfect circle, and everything comes to it at a right angle from straight directions, so you're pulling up to it. Left is 90 degrees left. Straight on is 180 degrees forward. Right is 270 right. I hope those angles are right. Then if you're turning left, when you're pulling up to the roundabout, you are in the left. And also when you're pulling up to the roundabout, there's 2 lanes. Okay, 2 lanes, right? On a standard roundabout, if you're turning left, you pull up in the left lane and you indicate left before you've even pulled off, and you just indicate left, and that's it. If you're going straight on, you're in the left lane, but don't indicate. Okay? Yeah. You pull forward until you've just passed the first junction at the first exit, and then you start indicating, say you're going out the second exit.
Yeah.
If you're going right, you pull up to the roundabout in the right lane, indicating right, and when it's clear, you set off, miss the first exit, miss the second exit, and as soon as you've missed the second exit, you start indicating left immediately until you pull off. Easy, simple shit.
Or the way I see it now is it's like a clock, and anything past 12 o'clock, you need to signal right.
Yeah, I mean, that helps because roundabouts are more complicated than that in general, aren't they? But yeah.
Yeah. So I did. I pulled up to the thing. I pulled up all right. Just about to set off. The second I go to set off, fucking tiny little Corsa, bright lime green, around the fucking roundabout.
Did it have one of them exhausts that goes?
well, no, because if it was like that, I would have heard it, and I was like, "Oh, I'll wait then." But he was quiet enough to like not make. Well, I did the meow, but he actually didn't do meow. He was like pretty quiet. So, but anyway, because he'd shown me how to do that emergency stop the day before, like just watching him, I like fucking replicated it perfectly. This emergency stop.
Oh god, this is going to play off in your favour, isn't it, somehow?
But then the problem was is that I was like halfway out on the roundabout, but I quickly sorted that out. But
the question is, did this shitty little Corsa have to change their course because of you?
No.
Oh, that's a big factor, you know.
Yeah, okay, I know that is a big factor. So essentially, then what I'm thinking is, well, that's it. I fucked it because I was like out on this roundabout like a fair bit, and I did stall it as well. So I'm like, well, fuck him. So I just drove. The maneuver he wanted me to do was probably
so he got you to do a maneuver after that then.
Yeah.
See, this is a good sign as well, because often, if you've failed for something, they'll just take you back because they don't want to waste time. It's really busy, as you know. So that's a good sign as well. Yeah.
So, essentially, I got the easiest one. It's the easiest one, where it's just reverse back 2 car lengths.
Oh, fuck me.
It's literally the easiest one.
Compared to what I had to do for my test, that is piss easy. I had to do reversing back round a 90-degree turn. I had to fucking pull into a bay parking and reverse back into a bay parking. I had to fucking do one of those things where you flip it just onto 2 wheels and hang out the window and smoke a cigar. You know, one of those. The standard maneuvers.
Yeah. And that's why you failed so many times, because you don't actually smoke.
Oh yeah, because actually that's not what you're supposed to do. Oh. Yeah. That's where I failed all them times.
Yeah. So then we drove a bit longer, and he did a few of those. Right, when you're ready, pull up on the left, and he did one of
that. That was my least favorite part of driving. That they just go, okay, when you're ready, pull up on the left, and then you do, and then they go, when it's safe, continue. And I'm like, I just there was something about that. I get why they do it. There's something about it I just really hated.
So I did, and then we did one like pull up on the right when he wanted me to do the reverse back 2 spaces, and then after a bit of driving, he asked me to go back to the driving school. I stalled it once on the way. I stalled the car once on the way to the driving school. I quickly recovered, though. I did quickly recover it.
Something I can say is I've never stalled on a test. In fact, I don't know if I've ever stalled.
I stalled twice. Once was because I like had to just do an emergency stop, and then the other time was because I was a retard. So, but so we got back to the test center. He asked me to pull up anywhere. I showed off a little bit. I did one of the, sort of the. I could have slid it into an easy one, but I did one of the front bay parking things, and I got it in fucking perfect. I was like, oh, after that, you bastard. Now tell me I failed.
and then did you turn to him and go skadoosh and like?
I did. So anyway, I pulled in. He did a few tappy taps on his iPad.
They have to do. They do it on an iPad now.
Yeah, they do it on an iPad now,
and they did it on a piece of paper for me.
It's like blacked out from your side of view, so you can't actually see what's being put on it either.
They have to do that bit where they've obviously marked you all and they know whether you're going to pass or not, but they have to just pretend to tap to do some shit.
He was making the noises with his mouth. He was going beep boop beep beep. So anyway, after a little bit, he turns to me and he says, "Congratulations, Jordan, you've passed your driving test."
And then he goes, "I'm just joking, you fucking idiot. You didn't pass your test."
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. I passed it first time.
Jesus Christ. Well, I called it, didn't I?
With a whopping total of 12 driving faults.
That's right on the border, that, you know. Is it 13 that you fail?
No, it's 15.
15, okay, fuck me.
Yeah.
This is the annoying thing with my tests. I never got more than 5 minors. So if you're not from England, if you want to know the English kind of driving test kind of things, there's minor faults which you can get. If you get less than 15 of, you still pass. And I'm talking, when they say minor, it's very fucking minor, isn't it? Like really minor shit compared to other places. English driving tests really hard. And then you have major faults, and if you get one of those, you're done. You can't do any major faults. So I passed my test on the 4th time, I believe, and the first 3 times I didn't get less than 5 minor faults. I got a major fault, but the major fault is really fucking minor, okay? I'm not going to describe all my different driving tests because we'll be on about driving tests for ages, but it really fucking pissed me off because it was really minor shit that weren't my fault. Whereas Judge passes with getting fucking 12 minor faults. I never got less than...
smashed it.
I ended up with 3, by the way, on the one that I actually passed. 3 minors, no majors. That's what I ended up with.
You know I smashed it first time because I'm sick as fuck. That's
we all know why you smashed it first. Well, you didn't smash it, let's be honest. We all know why you scraped by first time.
I smashed it out of the park.
You scraped by first time to spite me. That's what it was. It was just all to spite me.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
He said congratulations, you passed, and a big disgusting like smile like split my face, you know, like when the Grinch smiles. It was
Well, there you go. So you've got a car already, haven't you?
I've got a car.
Have you insured yourself yet? Anything like that? Have you had your own a drive on your own yet?
The reason why we started like 20 minutes late is actually because I was just sorting out my insurance.
Right.
I've not had a drive in it yet because it's been at Mum's, my car.
So
we
actually need to know,
we need to bring it through.
Your car will be the lowest insurance bracket. I know what car it is. It will be. How did you insure it for a year?
Yes.
Okay. And have you got any named drivers, anything like that?
No, I ain't got any named drivers.
Have you got a black box?
I have got a black box. I have got a little black box. I'm
You
quite...
will regret that, I promise you. You will plague you for a year, I promise you.
Because the thing is, I'm quite like a very slow driver anyway. I know there's other stuff like it factors in, but I've put it down. If it really is that too much of a ball ache, I'll know not to do it next year.
But it's a year though. It's a year.
I know.
And we all told you, you fucking dumbass. So you've got a black box. How much was a year's worth of insurance on a car that's maybe worth $2,000 if we're being generous?
Actually, it was 800 for the year.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck off. What did you do? Suck off the insurance broker? What's gone on there? Do you know how much mine was?
Go on.
£2,100 on a car that was worth £2,000.
I wonder if that factors in how many times you failed your test.
No, it doesn't. My latest insurance was only $650.
You know what it is. The insurance company was typing in all the details. They had a look at me through my web camera and they went, "You know what? This guy's sick as fuck."
Look at him in his Pokemon t-shirt.
In his Pokemon t-shirt.
Even though he's never played Pokemon in his fucking life. Oh my god. Well, there you have it. But the thing is, I called all of that pretty much to the exact detail. That's my only victory in this entire saga. So there you go. Oh, it's a good job I can make money off of you drinking, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go. But speaking of bad driving, Judd, Cyberpunk 2077's driving mechanics are fucking awful.
I thought you were going to say
dreadful.
I thought you were going to say, speaking of bad driving, Cyberpunk 2077's driving me crazy.
No, I've managed to play more than a couple hours of it now, so that's good. That's good. You know,
that is good. Yeah.
Still a bad game though. Still sucks. I'm not going to speak about it for too long, but just giving my little brief review, as I've played enough to kind of get it decently now. The driving. Oh my god.
Yeah, the driving fucking sucks. It's yeah.
This will tell you how bad the driving mechanics. Obviously, everyone's played this game by now, but it's my little. The driving mechanics in that game are worse than the horse riding mechanics in The Witcher. Yeah. Now that's saying something.
Sum it up with that fucking company, isn't they? They just cannot get like forward mode. Yeah, they did Witcher as well. It's is it CD Projekt Red?
I'm telling you, CD Projekt Red is bad at making games. Have they ever made a good game?
Must just be. I mean, you know, I know you don't like The Witcher, but a lot of people like The Witcher. I think it's fine.
This makes sense, actually. I didn't know that they made The Witcher Projekt Red games, because something I really don't like about The Witcher is a bunch of like it's subtle stuff that you don't particularly notice within games that I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey does perfectly. It's all the kind of background subtle mechanics. So how the stats on weapons and armor works, can you reskin them, how the skill tree works, how getting different abilities works, all of that junk, you know, all of that sort of thing. CD Projekt Red sucks at all that. They're so bad at it. They're so bad at it. The Witcher, right? It could be worse when it comes to that, except you have to do like 2 hours worth of homework before fighting one fucking enemy. So, because they set up all the stats and that so that you have to do that, it pissed me off no end. Cyberpunk's worse. It's so convoluted and bollocks, and what's all this brain dance shite? I'm not interested. I don't want to do it. Just fuck off, you know? It's like, it's so clunky. You can't move around right. It's pointless because it just tells you where to scan for what. It's just, why though?
Yeah.
It's like, those are the bits that are still really bad. And the thing is, it came out in 2020. We're now in 2022. It's easily over a year old, that game, right? And it's still not fixed. It's still not fixed. The basic bugs aren't fixed. Never mind stuff like you should easily have the option to hide whatever you're wearing on your head in that game. It's a pretty standard function in RPG type games. Assassin's Creed Odyssey has it. Assassin's Creed Origins, I'm pretty sure, had it. Fucking Assassin's Creed Valhalla has it. Those are my kind of standards, like, as in when I say standards, like the top standards of these sorts of games. Fucking all sorts of games, include MMOs, have had it for ages. You know, because no people want to see like this face and stuff they've created, don't they?
Yeah.
So
I know
it's
what you
just
mean,
a fucking setting in a menu. It's so easy, and it's not there. So it means that you can't start, and also you can't reskin anything, and that's so annoying for such a role-playing based game because your character has to look like a fucking retard the whole time. They have to have such a mishmash of like crazy clothes because they've got the best stats.
I actually like would handicap myself if I got better gear just so I could keep like the corpo aesthetic, because that's what I played. I played as a corpo, as a
you essentially played as Handsome Jack, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I'm gonna play as Handsome Jack,
and I was really tempted to do that actually, but I went with my initial idea of playing Cyber Captain Jack Sparrow instead.
Well, here's the thing about wanting to do that, Jake. That I wanted to do is you can't, because the idea is I essentially was like, no, I work for Arasaka. I'm corporate. I work for the company. My loyalty is to the company. I don't know this Keanu Reeves looking motherfucker that's living inside my brain. Get him out! I want to work back for the company.
I've not got anywhere near that far.
All right. Well, but the thing is, it forces you to go into this like bromance we in, or not even the bromance level stuff. Just, you know, it's like it at least won't allow you to sort of be like, look, Arasaka, take me back. I'm here. I'm saying, you know,
it's basic stuff like there's two voices. There's male and female. That's it. You can't. There's more than that in fucking Soul Calibur. It's like, come on, and like your voice options. I wanted to play as like Cyber Captain Jack Sparrow, right? But the guy I'm playing is too like cool and like fucking basically like, I don't know. He's a bit like what's the guy? Paul Walker's character, Brian O'Connor in Fast and Furious. A bit like that, but like a street rat, you know? It's like so it's kind of, and also even basic shit like you can't fucking go to the strip club. There's not a strip club, Jim.
Yeah.
There's not a strip club in fucking Night City.
Yeah, in
you can't
Night
get a
City.
strip dance. The fuck? You can't. You know when you drink a drink, you don't. You click on it in a menu. Yeah. You click on it in a menu, and basically nothing fucking happens. Honestly, it's just. And then even when I say it's not fixed, right? One of the immediate things I noticed when I didn't play it when it first released. I played it like a month or two after, just because I was intrigued. How fucked is this game really? Basically. Yeah. It's basically still just as fucked. Honestly, it seriously is. On PC, they've optimized it better, so my FPS is good. It's good FPS now. Yeah. I'll give them that. The thing is, they didn't make smoke work still. So any smoke in that game on PC, it doesn't work. So which is a lot, actually, believe it or not. For Night City, there's quite a lot of smoke floating about. It's glitching about. It's glitching about. It's all just like, it's glitchy everywhere. Every time you see smoke. And not only that, trees. They can't do fucking trees.
Yeah.
Any tree that's in that game exists on the top layer of your vision. Like, almost all the time. So, like, any tree that's, like, 100, like, meters away that you would never be able to see behind a bunch of buildings, it's, like, right in front of your eyes. Like, on top of buildings and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I've seen that one a lot, actually, where it's just, like, on the top layer for some fucking reason, yeah.
And it's not massively terrible for that sort of thing. Like, those aren't massively terrible glitches. I've seen worse in, like, fucking Bethesda games, but it takes you out of it so much. Being as it's basically, it may as well at this point be an open world movie, interactive movie, because you can't do much else really other than just play like story missions.
Yeah,
like that's it really. So and even that, even the story so far, it's kinda convoluted as fuck. There's so many like made up jargon names of like stuff that you have to just remember instantly off the bat. Just like, you have to access your cyber deck and use the insta-hack to notice the breath manipulation 3000 and unlock Ashiko Manuka's instant eye wanderer .2, and make sure you remember this. There's going to be a test later. And also remember Captain Riggenschmeich and the Master Boy, and like they're going to come and take you away in the NC 4000 vehicle. Remember that, because there's some stuff to do. Like, honestly, it's all that shit. And I'm like, you've just told me so much shit that I'm never going to remember, that I'm struggling to give a fuck. Like, honestly, I'm so glad I've picked the type of character I've picked, because his whole attitude from a role-playing perspective is, I don't fucking care. It's like, I'm going about and I'm stealing your money and I'm fucking your bitches.
Yeah.
If I get an opportunity to do that, that's what I'm doing. So I kind of do tune out and think, well, I'm sure that sounds cool and important. Anyway, and I go and like, but the thing is, I feel for anyone who's trying to roleplay as anything other than that. Because it's like, no.
Well, yeah. I just couldn't do mine. I just couldn't. I'm assuming you're not doing like the whole corpo thing. You're doing like the street rat. I'm
really looking at that even with the stats thing, because I literally do just equip whatever's the most strong. Yeah. Because my character would not give a fuck what he's wearing. Like, he'd look fucking crazy.
Yeah. So You can get an ending where you sort of end up back at Arasaka, but it's not really, and I can't
Arasaka's
explain.
Like a corporation that makes like high tech stuff. If you've not played the game.
Like cybernetics and stuff like that.
Again, I have been told what they do in the game, but I just went cool.
Yeah, so you sort of end up back with them, but not really, and I can't tell you what I mean by that because it'll spoil the game. But so yeah, it's just shit. To be honest, it's just shit.
It's even stuff like, for me, the very first thing you do, right, is there's this barman. He is struggling for money at a loan shark, and you have to go do a thing for the loan shark to pay off your barman that you know's debt. Now, my character would not fucking do that. And there's not an option to turn down that mission. So... Yeah. And I know that, like, there's certain stuff you have to be forced into because it can't be as open-ended as possible, but the problem is, it kind of promised that, this game, didn't it? So...
Yeah, also, well, it did. It did. That's exactly what it promised, yeah.
Even stuff down to, it promised to be one of, like, the most customizable characters ever. Now... In doing that, it lets you alter the length of your knob.
I gotta be honest.
But you can't alter anything about your physique or your height or like anything else.
There was more customization in fucking Tony Hawk's Project 8.
In any Tony Hawk's game, there seriously is. Because you can't, like, literally. I was thinking, my character he could do it looking a little bit more gaunt and skinny, a little bit more slender. Yeah. You can't do that. He's just going to look average build. What if you wanted to play as a guy that was burly as fuck and uses knuckle dusters? No, can't do that. Can't do that. I could do that on Fallout New Vegas, you know.
Yeah.
A game that came out when? When did Fallout New Vegas come out?
It was 2000.
In fact, you know what? Fallout 3, because I know you can do that on that as well. Fallout 3 release date. 2008.
Yeah.
We're talking 12 years earlier. They got it right. Honestly, CD Projekt Red should sell to Microsoft and get out while they can. Because fuck me.
You know, you could, if you want to nitpick even more, it's shit like, you know, if you throw a grenade into like a bed of water, it'll just explode under the water.
And not outside the water.
Not outside, like there won't be, like, you know, water won't rise up from the explosion. It'll just explode in the water.
How did
They
how
were
long
doing
did they
that,
develop
they
this
were-
game for?
I'm saying they had that in Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's empty as well. It's so empty.
Yeah.
I was thinking earlier, there's more to do in GTA San Andreas than this game.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, it took 9 years to make this game.
What were they doing? What were they doing?
My God, that's comparable to Skyrim. And you cannot... Honestly, Skyrim literally beats this game in every single way. There's not a way that Skyrim's worse than this game. Obviously, it's a different genre. It's fantasy rather than, like, cyberpunk. But, literally, graphics. It's got better graphics. Cyberpunk's not got good graphics. Literally, as far as I could say, just for the fact that the smoke doesn't work. That's enough. Like, even if everything else looked better, which I suppose you could argue it does, I don't actually think it does look better. Everything looks like so low poly count. It's so shit. It's awful. Oh, and by the way, you know that after you do your first mission and you get busted and you link up with Jackie and become friends, there's a whole montage. I mentioned this last time I talked about it, where you go on a bunch of adventures and it's kind of a montage of showing how you become really good friends with Jackie. Well, why don't I get to do those then? Can I do them? Can I just do those? That looks really fun. Can I do that, please? Yeah. That looks good. So why did you not make that the game?
Look at all these interesting characters that you're meeting.
Yeah, that could have been the game though. Like, that could have been good. And oh my God! And do you know what happened when that cutscene loaded? They were all T-posing. It was great. They just went blam, T-pose everywhere.
What was the last thing? Because I've got a really funny one, but if you've not got to the bit yet, I'm not going to spoil it.
The last thing I've done was I have done the first brain dance thing with, is it June or something? Underneath that, like, strip club thing. I've just done the first one of those. That's it. Right,
so you've not... Keanu Reeves, you haven't met Keanu Reeves
Not
yet?
at all, no. The lockdown's not even ended on that certain area, so...
Okay, no, I can't tell you it then. I can't tell you it.
I'm sure once I've played quite a significant bit further, I will, I don't know, give a better review on it. But I'm going to leave my score. We rate video games, TV, and movie out of 100. If you don't know that, on a spreadsheet. We do it after we stream this podcast live at twitch.tv/streamsbadly. If you listen to the YouTube video version on the Streams Badly YouTube channel, or the audio version on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you won't know that we do this, but we do rate things. At twitch.tv/streamsbadly if you want to tune into that. We normally stream on Wednesdays around 6 p.m. But my score for Cyberpunk was 15 out of 100. Now, if I'm gonna be honest, I think I would give it slightly higher now, but just out of principle, I'm not going to, because it pisses me off. Like, I'm kind of enjoying it, but only because I really want to play a game like this right now. You know, kind of a closed open world, as in you're just in Night City and you're doing things like that. Do you want to change your score on this game, by the way?
So, I do, because I personally still had fun with the game, but I want to put my score down because it is a bad game, and not only do I want to put it down because of that, but I also want to put it down because I just think it's fucking pathetic that they've even had all this time afterwards and they've barely even done anything with it.
I know,
like they've barely even started to change it. So what have I put it at now?
They needed to fix all the bugs first things first, which shouldn't have taken a year, really. Because they've had 9 years already before that. It should have fixed all the bugs and just sorted out little shit, like being able to skin whatever you're wearing to make your character look decent. So you actually gave it 60 out of 100.
Okay.
And let me tell you as well, I once have a quote of you saying that if it wasn't so broken, it could be your favourite game of all time.
Because I really enjoyed, like, my time with it.
Judd,
like,
it's empty, the systems are shit, the story's a bit overly complicated and kind of shit as well. Even if this game was flawless without bugs, I wouldn't give it a 50.
I had a lot of moments where it was like, oh, that I really like
the driving gameplay is bad. The running gameplay feels shit. The guns all feel bad. The the muzzle flash. You can't see what you're shooting at. It's all bad. It's all bad. No good. I'm still going to play it all. But...
all right, well... 60, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to put it down to like a 40 just because of how their attitude of fucking dealing with it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think 40 is very generous, put it that way. But I understand a 40, but I think it's very generous still. 40 out of 100. Anyway, so that's Cyberpunk. That went on longer than I expected because apparently I have stronger feelings for that than I thought I did. We'll probably be ranting about some...
Cybercom! That was nothing. That wasn't even anything. Don't say good one, it wasn't.
Yeah, that was like a derogatory good one. It was kind of like, good one, kid.
Good one.
We'll probably be talking about and ranting about some other stuff a little bit later, but I wanted to tell you about some Reddits. Judd, I've been getting into Reddit, but not really.
Ew.
I've just been scrolling
Gross.
Reddit a little bit sometimes. And should we make a Reddit for Streams Badly and not post a single thing on it? That'd be fun. Two-sentence horror.
I have heard of this.
So I wanna read you some of the top 2-sentence horrors of all time on this Reddit. There's some spin-offs of 2-sentence horror. There's 2-sentence humor. There's like 2-sentence like surprise or something. There's some other ones. Okay. So we'll do some of those as well. But I'm gonna reel off some 2-sentence horror first. The first one I actually do really like. Okay, so it goes like this. All my life, my parents have told me not to open the basement door, but I got curious and disobeyed them. What is that glowing ball in the sky, and why does it hurt my eyes?
Oh, I get it.
Oh my god, that took you too long. That took you way too long to get.
It did. I was like, what the fuck is it?
Having said that, the top comment on this post is, don't get it. I find that quite funny. But I think, when I first heard that, I was like, oh. It doesn't, it's never going to scare you loads, but it's always going to be like, oh yeah. I get what would be creepy here. You know, it's that. I like that. And it almost makes you smile because it's like, oh yeah, I get it. You know? Even though it's horror, it's like, oh, that would be spooky, I suppose. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, so we've got, when the kidnapper made me guess where he kept my daughter, I went for the basement and he said, correct, allowing me to see her. But when I found her severed head in there, I learned that every other choice would have been correct as well.
Because she's like been dismembered and she's all over the. She's all over the damn place.
It makes you realise something, doesn't it?
All over the damn place.
That's the whole deal with these things. The second sentence makes you realise something, and it either makes you spooked, laugh, or whatever other 2-sentence
or ball crawl
or come.
Curl it, yeah.
That's another emotion, isn't it? Sure.
Yeah. You might go, and her body was all over the place, and you go, oh!
We've got a pretty meta one here. Someone said, I have been working on stories to compete with the best on this sub, but I'm finding it near impossible. I'm beginning to think some of you are just making yours up. You like that one, don't you? You like it.
Get it? Because everyone's making up, because that means their one's that he's actually been
like killing people and shit. Okay, this is a weird one. I didn't really like this one that much. She said last time we're stuck in a time loop, which really pisses me off because that's what she said last time. We're stuck in a time loop, which really pisses me off because that's what. She said last time we're stuck in a time loop, which really pisses me off because that's what she said last time. We're stuck in a time loop.
I know, because you're the...
do you get it, Jude? Because do you get it? Because she said last time we're stuck in a time loop, which really pisses me off. That's good, huh? I like that more now. I've read it to you and managed to piss you off with it. There's another one here that says, with Squarespace, Sally can sell way more. Oh, wait, no, that's something else. Ads on Reddit, they really matter, you know.
Okay. They do just try and disguise themselves as actual posts, don't they, on Reddit?
They do. So we've got this one. I framed the first letter I got as a police officer from a woman thanking me after I'd supported her through her daughter's suicide. I passed it in my hallway every day for nearly 8 years before realising the handwriting was the same as on the girl's suicide note. Yeah, that ain't so good to me, because, like, you just bad at your job then, huh? Like, I don't know. That doesn't spook me out too much. It's kind of like, oh, fuck off. You're a cunt. Yeah. It pisses me off at the guy writing it more than anything. So, yeah, I don't know about that one.
The imaginary guy that's not real.
Well, I mean, the guy who typed it's real, but he didn't do that. Bear in mind that, you know, I did read... These aren't real, you know, Judd.
Aren't they?
No, it's stories. 2-sentence horror. I suppose it doesn't say stories in the title, so maybe they could be real.
It doesn't.
This is a weird one that I kind of like, but I don't know. So it's I'm reading out some quotes, like text. So it says, I'll do voices. Now be careful. That line of rock salt is the only thing keeping them out, the man said, welcoming my group into his refuge. Sea salt, I clarified. Sea salt keeps us out.
Okay. All right. Yeah, nice one. Scary.
You don't like this, do you? You don't like it because they're trying to be clever.
No,
I get
it. No. I mean, yeah, kind of, but also like, I don't know. That one was just like, I get it. Yeah, whatever. The first one made me go, ooh, but that
the first one's the best one for a reason. It's got fucking 40,000 upvotes. I understand why you don't like these so much, because, like, I know that they're trying to be clever. Like, the whole point of this is trying to be clever, isn't it? And you're like, yeah, I get it. You're not that clever, are you? Because I get it.
Oh, you're smart.
Yeah, it's like that. Anyway, let's continue. My husband has been very upset with me since my failed suicide attempt. He's crying non-stop and won't acknowledge me.
Because she's a ghost. She's a ghost.
It's good.
Honey, I married a spectre.
Honestly, I think one of the reasons why this subreddit, how could I not say that? Subreddit is so popular is because so many people are fucking stupid. Like, so many people. So they think that it's really clever and deep.
Yeah.
Like, every top comment on all of these is, dang, it's like, this is the top comment on that one, for example.
Dang,
it's like,
dude.
literally, it's like, dang, didn't see that coming. I thought it would say something like, he wants me to go back, but this was pretty creative.
Hot dang, dude, snaps fingers, slaps knee.
Honestly, like,
shoots muffer.
What about this time loop one?
That pissed me off, that one. That pissed me off.
That one's got
because she said...
Shut
up.
Wait. So, like... The top one on that one about the salt, you know, the one that you didn't like,
yeah,
is, this is an amazing twist. Is it, though? It's good. Is this alright? Like, it's a little bit interesting for a second.
It's just fine, I suppose.
I mean, this is a type of subreddit I follow. I do follow, and I like to follow, because it's like, it's a little tiny bit interesting to see one of these pop up on Reddit and go, huh, yeah. That's it. It's not like, oh my god, wow, you're so clever, you should write a new novel. You know, it's like, people go, oh, fucking hell. I mean, it wasn't that clever. Another one where the top comment is, this is absolutely perfect.
Absolutely perfect. There's nothing at all wrong with it.
Okay, here it is. Whenever I considered killing myself to escape my parents' abuse, I'd just recite my mantra, you don't deserve to die. Ironically, now that they're old, hungry, covered in bed sores, and begging to be put out of their misery, I still have the same mantra.
Ooh,
I kind of like that one's all right. That one's maybe my second favorite. The problem with that one is too wordy. Like that one. Too wordy though. You know?
I thought the problem with it was that it was really gay. That was my problem with it.
What?
I just thought it was trying too hard. It was like really edgy. When I think about killing myself, I repeat the same match. Shut up.
You're not going to like this one. This is as short as they should be. If your sentences are too long, it doesn't work as well. But this one's got good length of sentences, but it's just not a great concept. One of the awards this has been given is Mind Blown Award, which costs 100 Reddit coins, which is not actually very cheap. So
am I about to have my freaking mind blown?
Yeah, here you go. It says, as I slit her throat, I looked in her unblinking eyes and realized too late that she wanted to live. I knew it to be true because mirrors don't lie.
Downvote that one for me. Will you downvote that one, please?
Yeah, I'm gonna downvote it.
Okay, thank you.
I downvoted it. Actually, it won't even let me downvote it. Oh, the thread has been archived, so you can't. It's too old to put anything else on, basically.
Yeah.
Should we have one more? And then we'll look at some other different two-sentence types. Yeah. Here we go. Please, take me instead, I scream, grabbing at the two men who took my child. Sorry, ma'am. Children only, they said, as they continue loading up the last lifeboat on the ship. Get fucked. That's not horror. That's just you being horrible.
It's funny. That's just funny.
That's just you being a bitch.
That's just funny.
Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's like, no. That'd be better on two-sentence humor, that would be. Anyway, let's two-sentence. We're going to do two-sentence comedy, and then we'll do two-sentence sadness, just to, we like to go towards the sadness towards the end of these things, so. Top of all time, two-sentence comedy. I'm expecting this to be a little bit better. Because it won't be really funny, but maybe a little bit better, so. Top most voted of all time. This subreddit isn't as popular, only 1.4k rather than 40k.
Okay.
My girlfriend once caught me my girlfriend once caught me masturbating to an optical illusion. I told her it's not what it looks like. Oh, you are a sucker for this shit. See, I don't like that very much.
I like these ones. I'll probably like all of these.
These are fine on Reddit, but you know when you get a comedian whose whole stand-up routine is like this? It's just like telling a joke after each other, and it's not like story-based. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't do that. I can't do comedians that just say this, and then another joke that's like this type of thing. That's nothing to do with the last joke. I can't. I don't find it funny.
Sorry, I just gotta really. Okay, yeah, never mind. Go on.
Another one. I cried out in horror as I cut into her chest with a kitchen knife, and my absolute fear is confirmed. My wife is a cake. Oh,
that's just stupid.
You know, if we were in person and you said that to me, I would slap the shit out of you.
I thought you just punched me in the throat.
And thing is, I'd do that, and you wouldn't blame me for it, would you? Like, I know for a fact. Like, oh my god. Okay. So next, I wish my son would learn how to walk. This whole crawling up the walls and ceiling phase is seriously creeping me the fuck out. That's okay.
Yeah,
that's all right.
That one's fine. Yeah.
I find this next one funnier without the second sentence. Okay. The first sentence is just, I'm being arrested for curing paedophilia. I just find that one funny. It's like YouTube clickbait. So I'm being arrested for curing paedophilia. Apparently killing every child in the world is a horrible crime. I mean, this is the type of thing we agree with on Podcast Badly. We endorse this stuff. It's a joke.
Get that man on the podcast.
We don't actually endorse that. It's all a joke.
I do.
Okay, last one I'm going to do on this. I always clean off my plate, no matter how full I am. I have no problem with letting food go to waste. Spelled waste, like human. Waste.
I really didn't. We got to end this now because I really did not like that. That's actually angered. That's angered me quite a bit. That one. Actually,
so what I want you to do, Judd, is I'm gonna have to piss. I need to do a piss. We've got a little bit more to do, but I'm gonna have to do a piss. While I'm going to do my wee out end of genital, you have to come up with either your best two-sentence joke or two-sentence horror while I'm there.
Why? Why
It's
do I
going to
have
be
to
bad
do this?
because he's not got long to think about it. Just talk through your process, and we'll see how shit it is by the time I get back. Your time starts now.
This is just gonna be dead air while I think about this. Okay. I ain't got anything. I'm not. I've not got anything. Okay. Maybe I've got one. Maybe I've got something. Maybe. Okay. Yes. Maybe.
I'm back. Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
What have you come up with? Are you doing comedy or horror? You don't even know, do you?
I'm doing neither. I'm doing neither because I ain't got shit. I ain't got anything.
Okay. Just off the top of your head, 2 sentences. Just go now. Just do it. Whatever it is.
Just now. Just
just do it.
It's just stupid. It's just nothing. It's just gonna be nothing. It's just a shit bit. It's like be funny. I can't. Great. That's all this fucking bit is. It's just shit.
This bit's just for me, so that later when I listen to this, I can laugh at how much you're hating this press.
Yeah.
Come on, then. Go. Just say some stuff. Go on.
I don't know.
Just wing it and hope it's funny. Go.
Okay. I backed over a dog the other day. I then tried again because I was hoping for a kid. I don't know. There you go.
You know what? That's better than you expected it to be for how much time you had to do that. It's pretty dark humour, I'll give you that. Yeah. But you know what? Decent job. I think I'll give you the victory music for that.
Yeah.
Well done. You did it. That's more of an achievement than passing your driving test, I think.
Well,
oh dear.
He passed me because I backed over a kid the second time, you see. He listens to the podcast.
No comment. Anyway, the last one I've got to share with you, I'm not going to do too many of these, is 2-sentence sadness. We're going to get real sad about all this. Are you ready?
Okay.
This one's more popular than the comedy one, so the top voted post has got 5.4 thousand upvotes.
I'll tell you why, because everybody who uses Reddit is a sad fuck.
You are right.
I use Reddit.
So, here we go. This is the top one. Oh, this was shit. I remember reading this and thinking it were bad. I'm gonna do voices as well. For this. I love you, my dear, forever and always. My mother whispered to me. I pressed play on the voicemail again, having learned long ago that forever and always doesn't always matter if you come out the closet.
What? Oh, shut up. You know what? Oh. You are gay. You are gay. And you know what? That makes me like you less.
That's a joke. We're making comedy out of sadness. Isn't that beautiful that you can do that?
I'm allowed to say that because I like sucking cock.
Who doesn't like sucking cock? Anyway, the top voted comment on that is trans me casually stepping back into the coat hangers.
Oh, fuck off. Shut up. Shut up.
Shut up. Do you want to know the name of the user that posted that comment? Hamburger and Sprite.
Oh, fucking, you know what? Die.
But not really, obviously.
Just
okay,
die.
Next is... I immediately started apologising and braced myself for the shouting after accidentally spilling the water on the floor. My partner hugged me and reminded me that I no longer lived with my parents. I have an issue with this one, okay? That's less sad. That's not as sad as it could be. Because you could still be living with your parents and they could still do that. But that's kind of like a good thing.
Yeah, like surely that's hopeful if anything, because you're out of
Yeah.
that situation. It's sad that you're in that situation to begin with, but that's ending really on a positive.
Yeah. Anyway,
So
next, 16 years ago, I was informed by my parents that the reason I never saw my best friend again was because he was beaten to death on accident by his parents for coming home late. Judd's already laughing.
What? He was beaten to death by...
Next sentence is, ever since that day...
is this the rest of the sentence?
Yeah,
okay, all right.
so this is the next sentence. Ever since that day,
sorry.
I regretted changing his watch an hour backwards for more playtime.
What?
As in, so a friend came over to your house, right?
Yeah.
You set their watch back an hour so that you could play with them. You could play a bit longer.
Shut up!
And then
Shut up!
Home,
next one.
And their abusive
Just
parents
do the
beat
next
them
one.
to death.
Beat them to death.
The top comment on this one is, "Whoops! I beat my son to death."
Oh fuck, Mary! Beat him to death.
It's not. It's actually, if we're gonna be truthful, it's not funny because like that does happen sometimes. Like abusive people get so abusive that they accidentally kill someone. That does happen. It's not funny, but like,
I suppose.
Come on, just like generally laugh about it in an appropriate setting to make the pain not as difficult. That's the whole idea. Anyway, next. I catch my wife smiling gleefully in the mirror as she discovers her dress fits more loosely. Please, I beg her, please eat something. Now, this one I was like, oh shit.
That's a bit. That's a bit. Yeah.
There's a weird subtle art to these things,
Yeah.
isn't there? That like, there's not joy to be gotten out of that. That one's there's not some joy to be got. There's not really anything to laugh at there, is there?
That's a lot better. See, it is. I think for the sadness one, it is a lot more about subtlety because he's like, he was late and he beat his son to death. That hits a lot less harder than just a sort of like, please eat.
It has to be a level of realism, doesn't it? Like something you could really see being in your own life.
Yeah.
And part of this one as well is that the word count isn't too long as well. Like that last one was just too long.
Yeah.
You're gonna laugh at this one. My 4-year-old son loves to jump out and scare me. Unfortunately, I was holding a kitchen knife last time he did it. That's stupid, isn't it?
That's structured like a joke, though. That's structured like a joke.
I think a lot of these are
Unfortunately, I was holding the kitchen knife. Waka waka.
I think this is the reason why I'm surprised the 2-sentence comedy isn't the most popular, because it's a proper joke layout, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a setup and a punchline. Like the punchline can be sad or scary, but like more often than not, it's funny because there's a punchline. The top comment on this one is, I didn't mean to shoot him. He just caught me by surprise.
And then Vonsu the bear said, I didn't mean to stab him. He just jumped out when I was holding the kitchen knife. Waka waka.
Oh God! Last one. I don't know as you'll like this one too much. Tails, huh? I sighed as I looked at the coin in my palm. I put the gun back in the drawer and got ready for work.
Okay.
That's all right. I wouldn't say it's so sad. I think it's just trying to be clever again.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. That's the 2-sentence majargon stuff. That's those things. I thought they were pretty interesting. Maybe we'll take a look at some more of those another time in the future. I wouldn't mind doing kind of something similar to that after we record podcasts, reacting to something like a Reddit or some certain videos or something to add to the YouTube channel, so it's not just podcasts, but we'll see. We'll see what we think. For now, there's no plans for that, but we'll see. Anyway, the last thing I want to talk about this week is something that you kind of brought up, but I already had something else similar in mind, is, again, something I've mentioned before, this idea of there's movies and and I guess it's streaming shows now. It's not even TV shows that are coming out that were just like, I don't know. I don't know about that. The first one I wanted to ask you about, I'll remind you about some others in a minute, is The Batman movie. Now, I'm getting a little bit similar vibes to Cyberpunk, you know. I'm getting that a little bit, where I've got a feeling that this Batman movie is going to end up a little bit like the Dune movie, where a lot of people end up thinking it's really good and it gets a pretty good score. I'm talking high 80s out of 100 on like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. But it's actually kind of shit. It's like actually pretty bad, to be honest. I've got a feeling that's how this could end up, you know?
It could very easily end up like this, but I'm looking forward to it.
I want to see what it's like. But have you seen that it's been awarded in pre kind of showings, this certain award that is kind of a seal of this has been made for artistic integrity and not primarily for money. It's been influenced by artists and trying to make art first. Now, the Joker got that as well. And obviously it worked really well for the Joker, but...
And the Joker goes... just like that.
Yeah, that's... You could just clip that, someone. But what I mean by that is that award to me for the Batman and what I've seen of the trailers and stuff so far, kind of, I'm just a bit sus, you know. Yeah. I think it could be bad. I actually have not got my hopes up for it. I reckon it's going to be a bit like too up its own arse, trying to like be too artsy for a comic book film. That's what I'm thinking. It definitely could be the other way. And this is, bear in mind, this is pretty much exactly what I said about Cyberpunk. I said that I reckon it's going to be a mess and it's actually going to be a bad game. But I definitely could be wrong. And that's what I'm saying about the Batman. I think, my prediction is, I think it might end up being too artsy for its own good. People will think they're supposed to enjoy it and give it good ratings, but it's actually kind of shit. A bit like Dune. And, yeah, that's what I think.
Shall I do the theme for Dune? Do you want me to do the theme for it?
Yeah, go on.
It goes,
yeah, that's what happens through the entire movie. So that's what I think is going to happen with it. I genuinely do, and I'm kind of sick of it. And you know, there was a bit of a meme of like, oh, another Spider-Man actor. Well, fucking what about Batman? Like, Jesus Christ! He's not stopped since the 50s. There's been fucking Adam West, and since then, and Adam West till like the 80s, and then since the 80s, Batman swapped hands so many times, so quickly. We're talking fucking 40 years worth. At least with Spider-Man, it's only about like 15, 20 years. Like, Jesus Christ, there's been so many Batman actors, it's getting a little bit just like, let it rest for a bit. Jesus, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of them that I'm a little bit sus of. Similar to like the Matrix movie, that was shocking. I don't think it'll be as bad as the Matrix, but what do you think? What do you think it's going to be like? Like, I know you're excited for it, and so am I. I have to say, I don't think the Riddler's an amazing villain for Batman, because like, how do you get much action out of the Riddler? His whole thing is just puzzling.
I think it's going to be like a really sort of like thriller sort of thing. Like he's sort of against the clock trying to figure out like what he's done.
So why is it dressed as a bat and shit then? Just like
that's his aesthetic.
Could just be a detective. This is a thing though. If it's have you seen the movie Seven? Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
If it's a thriller similar to that, him being dressed as Batman is gonna seem fucking silly. Come on, it is. You have to, if you're dressed as Batman and like you're gonna be like that, you have to be doing a little bit over the top kick-ass stuff. You have to. Christopher Nolan movies found the perfect balance of that. If it's gonna be drifting more realistic than those, it's gonna seem silly without meaning to. In the same way that kind of Batman appearing in like Batman vs Superman, some stuff kind of did in ways.
It still looks like there's going to be a lot of action in it, though. It's not all just going to be that sort of detective thriller stuff. So
is it just it's not just the Riddler either, is it? That's the villain.
So I think the Riddler's the main villain, but I also know that Penguin and Catwoman are in it.
Again, it's another pitfall that people have identified for 20 years to not have too many villains. That's caused issues with superhero movies so consistently. Spider-Man 1, one villain, pretty good. Spider-Man 2, one villain, masterpiece. Spider-Man 3, there's like 3 or 4 villains, not so good. You know, that's what ends up happening with all these superhero movies. And we know that, and we've been saying it for ages, and they fucking ignore it. So, like, again, it's another little sign where it's like, it doesn't mean that it will be bad necessarily, but I don't know.
I don't know if they're not, I don't know if they're like, I don't know if they're full on all the time, constantly in it villains though, or if they're just like, here's a couple that are just in it.
This is the thing. You don't know how the extent, and if they're like in it for a scene, then like, you know, that could be more promising. But the thing is, we don't know. That's the problem I'm having. That's why I'm saying this could be kind of bad. You know, this could be bad. Like, and that's why I still hold my hands up and say it could definitely be really good. Could be still, but that's why I say I'm just sus. I'm just sus. What do you think? What do you actually think will be the end result?
I think something's in the way again. That's a song. That's a song from the trailer. That's what I think.
Good. You singing that's convinced me. I think it will be bad.
You think it's going to be bad?
That's genuinely convinced me. I'm not even lying. Another one that you mentioned is they're doing a Bioshock series.
Yeah, they're doing a Bioshock Netflix series.
Now, do we have any info on this? Because The Witcher, not good.
No, it didn't end up being very good. It didn't end up being very good, that did it?
Although I think it's probably better than the games, so far as I'm concerned. I've not watched the series because I thought the game sucked. But
it's a bit fucking all over the place, the first season, and I've not watched the second season. But Tom, you know Tom, like his favorite. He's all about Witcher. It's his like The Witcher, like books and games and all of that is his favorite shit ever. He really does not like the show. So
yeah. So is there anything we know about this Bioshock series? And anything else we know about that?
I don't think so. I literally just saw somebody on my Facebook timeline shared that they were doing it. It's literally 7 hours ago. They posted like a little thing saying like Netflix plus Bioshock, it's happening. What's this? Netflix, 2K, and Take-Two Interactive are partnering to introduce a film adaptation of the renowned video game franchise. So we know it's a film, not a series.
I think. What do you think? A film or a series would be better for Bioshock?
A series, and it needs to start with sort of like either the construction of Rapture, or like the sort of like it just opening to not necessarily the public, but like the people that Ryan was inviting into Rapture. I just think a movie is where are you going to start? Has the fall of Rapture already happened? Like, are people shooting up fucking Adam into the veins and shit already? Because that didn't happen straight away in Rapture. It took them a bit to discover the Cecil. They're going to be like, yo, if I shoot this shit up into my veins and shoot lightning out my fucking hands.
Well, I think both would be bad, but I think you could do both equally as bad. In that, if you did a series, it would have to be kind of almost a period drama of the kind of Rapture, the first inhabitants of Rapture, and kind of getting Rapture up and going, and kind of the shady shit that's going on behind the scenes, and maybe the discovery of that stuff. You could do a series or two on that. If you were going to go the movie route, it would have to almost be a straight up movie adaptation of the first game. It'd have to just be that.
Well, it's. I don't see how well that translates to a movie, because I don't know. Jack's like a silent protagonist. He's sort of just his whole arc is literally that a fucking a con man has brainwashed him. And he's like telling him to do shit. He's literally I don't know. I don't
twist on that, but the thing is, it wouldn't be effective on people who've played the Bioshock game, which is going to be your main audience, and then it wouldn't be a particularly good movie for people who've not played the game because it's not going to adapt to a movie much. So I think to be honest,
I might make my nan watch it with me.
Yeah, do it. She might enjoy it. I don't know. That's probably the worst one I can think of coming up. But another one that's going to be happening is the Lord of the Rings series prequel.
Yeah.
So obviously The Hobbit's a prequel to The Lord of the Rings, but it's a prequel to that. I don't know where they're going to take it. I don't know. You know, I feel like it's a bit of a series that should just... I don't want The Lord of the Rings to be a franchise, I don't think. I'm happy with those 2 trilogies of movies and the books that are out. I just kind of want that to just be left, just leave it, you know?
Yeah.
Now, I think that's the type of thing that should be left to become a classic work, like Shakespeare or something. You know? If you keep a franchise going for many, many years, it won't become a classic work like Shakespeare. That's my theory. And I think I would like Lord of the Rings to be left as like a classic work like that. And it's a shame that I think it's Amazon is doing it. I will give it a watch and give it a go. But like, I don't know. It's just, there's so many of these. It's like, I just don't know, you know? I just don't really want this to be a whole thing. And a lot of it's like reboots and like rehashes of nostalgic stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know.
It's not really gelling with me, you dig?
It's just like, I want just make something new and cool now. Like, we're ready. We're definitely more than ready for something that, like, it's just not any of these franchises we've heard of before, and that everyone ends up loving it. Think Squid Game, right? Squid Game. Obviously, it's not a new concept completely, but it's definitely a new franchise, a new story. People went mental for it. That sort of thing, you know? Something new. The only thing... Can you think of anything that's been like that, that's come out, that's been a reboot type of thing? Or even like a sequel after many years that's actually been any good? Ghostbusters Afterlife was
a sequel or a...
Sequel or a reboot, or, you know, but after... You know, like a nostalgic thing.
Dread.
No, that's not... It's not new enough. Dread came out in like 2012 or something.
Oh, a new one. I don't know. God, a new one.
I'm talking 2018 plus. Because that seems to be the big kind of new timeline of doing that sort of thing. Star Wars sucked. The new Star Wars movies sucked.
Fucking suck, yeah.
To the point where I won't really even play a Star Wars game or watch a movie or TV from them. The best, well, there is a best movie I can think of. Ghostbusters Afterlife was alright. That's the one with Paul Rudd in, and that was alright. I wouldn't say it was that good, but...
More like Paul Crud.
The only thing I can think of that was a good version that plays on nostalgia is Jackass Forever. You wouldn't have thought that, would you?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the best movie that's played on this kind of concept that Hollywood seems to all want to just like hammer on about now.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other good thing to do with that. I'm really racking my brain. What else has come out like that? There's been all sorts, hasn't there? Anyway.
I don't know. I can't.
Well, there's The Matrix, there's Bill and Ted. There's those two. Those are just Keanu ones.
I specifically didn't watch either of them because I knew
Space Jam.
Shit. Yeah. Shit.
Out of those three, Space Jam's the best. Bill and Ted is the next. The Matrix is fucking awful. The new Matrix movie sucks so bad. It's so bad. I don't know. There is more stuff than that, but anyway, that's a lot. That's a big old podcast. I think that's enough for today. Thanks for joining us. Next week, we'll be talking about something. Judd might even drive here. Am I right? Oh. He might even drive and do it in person. Yeah. So you can do that now, you jack.
I can do that.
Cunt. Anyway, that's that. That's the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening. Tweet at Tweets Badly if you want to call us a little bitch. Yeah.